Hey guys! I'm excited to share with you my new loop that I've made. I actually announced yesterday on Instagram that I'm going to be making stuff daily, and I feel like I am accountable now, so I have to be making more stuff. But it's good because it means that I am learning, I'm improving my skills, and I'm connecting with more people and just getting part of this VR community, which is really fun. So let's start the video. Today I looked at making another spacey futuristic loop using Google Tilt Brush, but I've got my camera path thing down pat now, so I kind of made a sphere grid. Did a sphere grid and drew around it and then put the camera path going round and played around with the fog settings and the backdrop settings, because I watched this tutorial by Danny Brightman, is it? And he showed you how to make these massive landscapes in Tilt Brush really quickly. And there's actually a setting in Tilt Brush where you can turn off the, when it goes to the dinosaur is the largest scale that you can do. In the config settings you can actually change it, so check that out. Maybe I'll put a link below about where that is. But that would just mean that I can scale it, hopefully the whole environment to really small, so you can make things really effectively and fast in the environment and space. So it really works well with the mountains in the background. So you've got mountains, layers, and then using the fog to create that sense of distance. Here I'm trying to make a grid, but I didn't really like how it worked. I was playing around with making a sci-fi futuristic grid, the squares, but it just didn't really work out, so I'm gonna have to think about a workaround for that, maybe in a different VR software. So it's just playing around, and then I really like how you go upside down in this, and then I thought oh, we can make really cool, if you're looking at aerial view on a landscape and it's dark and you've got these little lights. So I made these lights on these mountains, but if I had to do it again, I'd probably make them in grids, so it actually looks like a city, so a futuristic city. So I'm pretty happy with that. I thought in this one, might as well use the Hyperloop, Hypercolor brush, the really shiny, trippy, psychedelic brush there. I feel whenever you see that, you know that someone's made something in Tilt Brush. But if you were to animate that using traditional software, it'd be crazy insane to do something like that. So I just love how in VR we can use these different. Something I find really amazing about making art in VR is that you can play. So imagine if you're using a 3D modeling software like Blender and you want to make something. It's very calculated, and you're sculpting, making something, but you're not just gonna be throwing stuff randomly around in the space. Something I find in the VR tools, and that's why I know that I love this software, is because I just find myself playing and experimenting with different brushes, different lines, different compositions, and that's kind of the true sense of art, because if you've got a blank canvas and you can play around and you're sketching, you're drawing, you're doodling. I think you can doodle in these VR softwares. You're not creating something so specific and calculated. We can do, but I think it gives that permission for you just to play around, and play is one of the greatest things you can do in the creative space, so I love it. I need to research more sci-fi movies, and there's some really trippy artists from the 70s like Roger Dean, who did album covers for musicians, bands like Yes, and this just reminds me a bit of his Floating Islands pieces, where it's sci-fi futuristic and really out there concepts and ideas. Oh yeah, so I made the loop, that's the loop done. And then I started playing around. I was what about if we use the loop around and then we can draw on it? So it's just drawing on it and playing around with that. And it actually makes quite a weird animation. I actually made my loop a bit too weird, the camera path isn't circle, so I need to make a better circle next time, because when it was filming around it's kind of going in and out. But that's kind of cool as well. It kind of looks like when you got a magnifying glass and you're looking at a piece of newspaper or something, that distorted perspective. And then I drew a little house and things, just playing around. And then I laid on the floor for hours and listened to my favourite psytrance music and watched all the interactive brushes, which I highly recommend, because it's you get these sensory rooms for kids where it's all lights and touch and sounds, and it literally is that. I find when you make something like this in Tilt Brush, you can literally with the snow, is I almost felt it was falling on my lip when it was falling down now and again. And just listening to music and watching these reactive brushes like this, just make a little capsule and just like lay on the floor and like just experience like music through imagery. It's almost like sometimes like I'd hear someone talking in the music and then I could see they're talking in the pattern of the colors. Really cool and fun. So yeah, a bit of VR, music, visual therapy, I'd say. Ooh. And just like even be able to change like the world color. So you can just be in like blue. That's got to have some kind of like psychological like effect, like just being surrounded by like blue, like when you're by the ocean, or making it like all these different colors. So yeah, bit of VR therapy there to end the sesh today. I'm pretty happy with this sci-fi video. I think the next one I do, I want to do something really different. So maybe do like buildings, or yeah, just get inspired and make something not sci-fi and probably not in tilt brush. So we'll see what I get up to in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and feel free to like send me any ideas or just like hit me up on message on Instagram or whatever, and give me a like if you find this interesting, because it always helps like anyone on social media like interact with their content. It always gives them gives their work a bit of a boost. So really appreciate it and appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Is it rude to point? No, it's fine. Lots of love. We'll see you next time. Bye.